So, let me explain the last video. In case you are not familiar, my channel is an ongoing saga. It is a continuation of a diary, perhaps. So back in the day, what I do would be called vlogging, okay? Vlogging because the world be flogging, right? Right? Remember back when we used to, like, publicly whip people because they didn't behave properly? Don't you wish that those days would return? I'm pretty sure they wouldn't feel anything. This is songwriters night tonight. And though I know that the bitch that's singing and playing piano right now has talent, it just sounds so bad. Don't trust a word I say. She's a woman, right? Here's the thing, I actually don't hate women. Further examining people that, consider themselves to be misogynists, I don't really think that anybody's a true misogynist if they're understanding the word correctly, okay? I think that these people have grievances with women. I have grievances with women, but I don't wish to just shit on them only. I shit on everybody, okay? I shit on men. I shit on these little hellions that people call children, okay? The spawn of Satan. I shit on them because mommy and or daddy gave them a little diabolical device that has transformed them into a robot, essentially. And the fact that people in our society didn't even question that, like, at all. I remember in the very beginning of it, before there was record amounts of evidence to indicate that the smartphone technology is, like, easily the worst thing that's ever happened to humanity, okay? Long before there was so much evidence of that, it's like people were just totally open to that idea, of inviting this technology into their life that was going to, like, dramatically change the way that they do everything. And they didn't question as to whether or not that would be a good thing. They just went along. So yeah, I'm pretty bitter about that. I'm way more bitter about that than I am, women doing what women do best and ruining everything, okay? Men have allowed them to do that because they want to have sex with us. And what is the point in having sex with us when we're just going to create these spawn of Satan children, okay? They're like, I see the futility of everything because I see what society chooses, okay? They don't choose to raise their children. They don't choose to read books. The only reason they want to read books is so they can sit in front of a fucking bookcase and act like they're superior to people who have a different political belief, okay? People don't do anything for the right reason. If you think that the reason why I don't have a smartphone is so I can fucking shit on everybody, I hate to disappoint you, but I naturally hate stuff that everybody does, okay? And I knew when the smartphones first came out that everybody would eventually get one. And, like, all the people that I was friends with that swore up and down that they wouldn't get one would eventually cave in. Especially, because this thing is just, it's kind of, it seems like it's just impractical, you know? Like, I understand why people would say that, especially, you know, considering the fact that I do stand-up comedy. You know, it seems kind of silly. And also, I have a YouTube account. So you think, well, it'd be so much easier if you just upgraded your phone and then you could upload videos more easily and you wouldn't get lost everywhere you go. But it's really not like, oh, I don't want to be like everybody else. Because I don't think that's even remotely possible. If I had a smartphone, like I said, I'd be the president by now, okay? But I just don't want things to be easier. I don't want things to be more convenient. Like, people really don't understand why that's not servicing them the way that they think it is. Like, short term, it might seem like it's a good idea, but long term, obviously it's not. If the technology is creating this major divider between our ability to understand things, our ability to be able to connect with nature and connect with other human beings. If we can't even take a walk without staring at that thing, I would say that yeah, it's rendered society completely useless and dysfunctional, you know? So the government really doesn't have to do anything, you know? They can just encourage big tech to do what big tech does best and take over everything. And then society just goes along with it because society wants to be distracted. Society wants to feel empowered by doing something that's counter to its own best interest. So, I don't know. I realize that I sound very judgmental and like I have some sort of superiority complex because I don't have a smartphone. There are like a lot of people I know that have one of those Death Star phones. There's Ronit. She's got a Death Star phone. She talks to Siri all the time. Now, there are plenty of people who have these phones that realize that they're not good for society. But they're not willing to make the change. They're not willing to, like, allow their actions to line up with their words. And, you know, honestly, though, maybe, like, that's not their role. Like, they don't see that as their responsibility to do that. Like, they don't have the social obligation that I feel like I do, you know? And it's not because I think I'm going to save the world. It's not because I think I'm going to change people's minds. It's because of my conscience. So the fact that people would advise me to betray my conscience, also that I can make it in this shit-ass world that eats children, no.